Hello you all, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm on here to share with you all two projects that I created using all Tim Holtz products. As you guys know, I've been having a lot of fun creating with Tim Holtz products and just seeing what I can come up with. And it's also a learning experience for me as well because a lot of this stuff is all pretty new to me, but it is a lot of fun to just, get your hands dirty and just see what you can create. So that's just fun to me in general. But before I get started, I'm going to share with you all what I use, and then I'll share with you all what I created. So I did use some of the Distress Spritz in Rustic Wilderness. I just took the nozzle out and just kind of did some dipping on it on my project. And then I also used some of the Distress Rock Candy Glitter. This little tube came from one of Tim Holtz and Heidi from Simon Says Stamp class. I also used some of the Foundry Wax and Gilded. Use a little bit of that. This is new to me, which I really love. This is called the Luster Wax, and it's in the Sizzix Luster Wax in Gold. Lots of fun to use that, just to kind of give your project something extra. And then I use some of the Distress Crayon and Picket Fence, Candied Apple, Walnut Stain. And then I also use some Distress Oxide ink and Walnut Stain. I did also use some of the Christmas backdrop paper, ephemera pieces, and a little bit of idea-o-logy pieces as well. And then the main thing that I use for my project is these collage frames that I picked up from the Craft Shack. So you get 4 collage frames, you get 2 of the oval, and then you get 2 of the like rectangle frames. So I did 1 of each, and I believe this is a discontinued item, but I found it on the Craft Shack. So, when I find something that may be discontinued or something I just like in general, I'm going to purchase it and just see what I can come up with. So here we are. So let me go ahead and share with you all my first collage frame. So the first one I created is this one right here. And this was a lot of fun to create. I love the vintage look of it, and it was just a lot of fun. So I did use the backdrop for the front, and also, of course, for the back. So, and I didn't do anything to the back of this yet, but I will put some back here to keep it sturdy since it's just paper. And so, I did use this paper doll, and I colored it with her jacket. I colored it with the Candied Apple in the red. And then I did use the Merry Christmas word plaque, and I used the Picket Fence crayon to go on top of that so you can see the Merry Christmas. And then I did put some other screw heads on each side. This is a Christmas flare that says Joy to the World. And I got this pack from the Retro Art Gallery Cafe. So they're another company that has a lot of the older Tim Holtz products as well. And then I did use the Distress Rock Candy Glitter, and I just glittered up the berries on each one. And then also the little poinsettias down here, I just put glitter in the center. All the rest is ephemera that I use, like the tape measure, the 25, the Mary, and those are all distress. I went around it with Walnut Stain Distress Oxide ink. The little labels here, so the stamps that I use for those, I did use from Holiday Postmark CMS 323. I use this little stamp right here that says Airmail, and that's what I use right there. And then from Field Note CMS 396, I use the number 74 right here for that. That's the stamp I used. And then for this one, this was from the Eccentric CMS 448. So I used the 1913 right here, and then I use the stars from right here. And I did use Black Soot Archival ink to stamp those. And what else did I do to this? And then I took that Luster Wax and Gold, and I just took my finger, just went around the edges to get the gold on there, and then around the frame itself. And on the inside of the frame and on the side of the chipboard, I do use my Distress Crayon and Walnut to go around that to kind of cover up that chipboard on the edges. And then here is my little stars at the bottom. And I did use the Foundry Wax and Gilded to kind of give those a little goldish rustic color. So that is the first one. And then here's the second one that I created. So I pretty much did the same thing. I didn't do anything to the back. I used some of the idea-o-logy candy canes that I used the Distress Rock Candy glitter on them to give them some sparkle. I also used some red and white twine from my stash and tied a bow on each one of those. I used another Merry Christmas word plaque, and I did the same thing with the picket fence to go, just rubbed it on top so you can see the Merry Christmas with the nail heads on each side. I did take the Distress Spritz in Rustic Wilderness, and I just kind of hit it around in different areas. And then I did the same thing with the luster wax in gold. So I don't know if you can see that or not. So the same concept pretty much. And then these are the little flat back like drops. It's Tim Holtz, but I can't think of the name of them right now. But in red, so I just put those on the bottom of the confectionery number 30 Snow Street. And then we have confectionery chair, and they're all distressed with walnut stain ink. And then these girls are propped up on some dimension foam tape, since they're on the outside, where this one is on the inside. And that is this one. So again, Christmas backdrop, ephemera pieces, 25 December, 2 for 35 cents. I just try to use a little bit of idea-o-logy on each one, and then of course the ephemera. And then I just kind of did the same thing with the luster wax and gold and the distressed crayon around the outside and also on the inside of the frame, and then the walnut stain as well. So yeah, so those are my two collage frames that I created. I hope that you like them. I had a lot of fun creating them. I didn't know where this project was going to take me, but here it is. So yeah, so this was a lot of fun to create. And like I said, you know, Tim Holtz products is something that I was never really interested in when I first started crafting, but here we are today, and I've been having so much fun, you know, just playing with his products and just seeing what I can create, and also just watching a lot of YouTube videos, his live videos, and watching other videos, Pinterest, just getting inspiration from all around, you know, on social media, and just coming up with my own ideas to create what I want to create. And yeah, so that's what I do, and like I said, I've been having a lot of fun with it. So I hope that you all enjoy, like I said, as well, what I come to share with you all today. Again, hope that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your friends and your family. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.